The first time I saw Empress Kalara of the Vethari Dominion, she didn't look like an alien. She looked like a goddess sculpted from starlight and silver fire. Her hair shimmered like liquid mercury. Her eyes were bright amethyst, and when she walked, her long, flowing gown rippled as if the air itself bowed to her. I was the human envoy sent from Earth, a nobody soldier turned diplomat, to attend the first peace summit between our species. We'd spent decades fighting after a mining dispute went wrong near Jupiter's moons. I was supposed to represent humility, bridge building, and all that nonsense they stuff into training manuals. But when I opened my mouth, I destroyed everything. Scene 1: The Banquet of Worlds. The great hall of the Vethari Palace shimmered like a galaxy in motion. Floating crystals glowed with colors I'd never seen before. Alien musicians played hollow instruments that vibrated the air with haunting, liquid tones. And there, at the center, sat Kalara. Her throne made of transparent metal that pulsed with her heartbeat. I was nervous. Sweat beaded on my forehead even though the air was cool. Every eye in the room watched me. This fragile human among towering aliens with slender limbs and luminous skin. When Kalara gestured for me to speak, I rose, palms slick, trying to remember my carefully prepared introduction. "It is an honor," I began, "to meet the woman who has brought such discipline to her people." The hall went silent, dead silent. Kalara's lips curved downward slightly. Around her, guards stiffened. Even the musicians froze mid-note. Discipline. On Earth it meant strong leadership. But in Vethari culture, I later learned, calling someone disciplined was the same as calling them soulless. It implied they ruled with cruelty and lacked compassion. Kalara's eyes narrowed like twin blades. "So," she said softly, "the human envoy believes I am a tyrant." My heart plummeted into my boots. "And no, Your Majesty, I meant it as a compliment." "Enough." Her voice was like frost cracking glass. "You will speak no more." And just like that, the banquet was over. Scene 2: The Cold Exile. The next morning, I was informed that all further diplomatic contact with the human envoy was suspended indefinitely. In other words, I was done. They didn't throw me in a cell, but they might as well have. I was confined to a guest chamber that looked out over a frozen city of black towers and silver bridges. The Vethari guards outside my door never spoke. Meals appeared soundlessly through a wall slot. I had ruined the first real chance at peace between Earth and Vethar. Each night I lay awake replaying the moment in my mind, wishing I'd chosen any other word. Strong, wise, even brilliant. But no, I had to say disciplined. Days passed. Then weeks. I began to think I'd never see her again. Until one night the door hissed open. Scene 3: The Empress Returns. Kalara entered my chamber without guards. She wore no crown, no armor. Only a simple robe of black silk that shimmered like night sky. Her expression was unreadable. I stood quickly, unsure whether to bow or run. "Empress Kalara," I said, voice trembling. "I never meant to." She raised a hand, silencing me. "Do you humans always speak before you think?" "Most of us, yes," I admitted. Her lips twitched, almost a smile. She studied me for a long time, her eyes glowing faintly. "I have reviewed the human lexicon. Your insult may not have been intentional." "May not?" Ask carefully. "You called me disciplined. You thought it meant strength. On Vethar, discipline is the mark of the emotionless, the unfeeling, those who rule through fear rather than wisdom." "I meant it as respect," I said. "You've kept your people united after centuries of war. That takes heart, not coldness." For a heartbeat she said nothing. Then her gaze softened slightly. "You speak boldly for one so fragile." Fragile, I said, smiling weakly. Now that's an insult where I come from. Her eyes widened in surprise, and then impossibly she laughed. The sound was like wind chimes in a storm. Scene 4, The Lesson of Words. Over the next few days, Kalara visited often. She brought translators, ancient scrolls, and holographic texts. She wanted to understand human speech, its double meanings, its humor, its clumsy beauty. We sat together in her study overlooking the twin moons of Vethar, and I explained metaphors, jokes, idioms, things her people had no equivalent for. When I told her about the phrase, to break the ice, she raised an elegant brow. You humans conquer cold by breaking it. More like starting a conversation, I said, laughing. She smiled faintly. Perhaps we have broken some ice then. He nodded. A glacier, maybe. Each day the tension melted. She began to share her world. Stories of ancient wars, songs sung by ancestors who could shape light itself. In turn, I told her about Earth's oceans, sunsets, and the way humans could love even what frightened them. Once she asked, "Why risk peace with us when your people still fear us?" "Because," I said quietly, "if we never reach out, we'll spend our whole lives building walls instead of bridges." Her eyes lingered on me for a long time after that. Scene 5, The Trial of Trust. But peace was never simple. A faction within her court despised humans. They believed I had bewitched their empress. One night, an explosion rocked the lower palace, an assassination attempt meant for Kalara. Guards stormed my quarters, accusing me of treachery. I was dragged before the council, beaten, and thrown to my knees under the cold glare of their energy blades. Kalara appeared moments later. Her expression was fierce, burning. "Enough," she commanded. "This human is under my protection," one of the generals hissed. "He brought ruin and danger to our home." "Silence," Kalara said. "He saved me." I blinked. "I what?" She turned to me. "You warned me earlier that your people destroy themselves through fear. You were right. Fear almost made me condemn an innocent man. But I will not repeat that mistake." The general lowered his weapon, furious but obedient. Kalara helped me stand herself. Scene 6, The Empress Forgives. After the chaos settled, she came to me in the courtyard beneath the twin moons. The air smelled of metal and rain. "I have wronged you," she said softly. "I judged you for ignorance when I should have seen intent. Words can wound, but they can also heal." I met her gaze. "And sometimes they start wars." She smiled faintly. "Then let us end one." She extended her hand, a gesture of peace, but something in her eyes hinted at more. Took it. Her skin was cool, glowing faintly under the moonlight. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. The galaxy stretched silent around us, vast and forgiving. "I will return to Earth soon," I said finally. "But I'll never forget this." "Nor will I," Kalara murmured. "You came here by accident. You will leave as a symbol." Chuckled. "A symbol of what?" "Human stupidity." Her lips curved. "Of understanding." Scene 7, Epilogue. The Bridge Between Worlds. Weeks later, when I stood aboard the human starship preparing to depart, Kalara's image appeared in the holographic display. "Envoy," she said, her tone now softer than I'd ever heard. "Your mistake became our beginning. Do not let your people forget that." "I won't," I promised. "And thank you, Empress." She inclined her head. "On Vethar we do not thank with words. We thank with silence." And then she smiled, a real smile this time, and vanished.